Let's bring in now ANC Youth League National Spokesperson Fasiha Hassan for more reaction on the passing of struggle stalwart Pravin Gordhan. So Fasiha, thank you for your time this hour. So let's first of all get your immediate reaction to the news of the passing of the former minister.
Of course, there's sadness, some level of shock, but I think also a sense of carrying the baton forward. What do we do now as a younger generation who are in different spheres, not just of the state, in different industries? How do we carry on that legacy of fighting for against corruption, fighting for what's right, and being as courageous as he was?
And as you, speak about carrying the baton forward, I'm looking within your structures as well of the ANC Youth League. We are seeing this breed of young leaders now coming into the fray. Let's hear from you in terms of what sort of qualities that you will be taking from Minister Gordhan.
You're quite right. We're at a really fascinating moment in our history, politically and otherwise, apart from the GNU and all the different dynamics. One thing that hasn't been spoken about enough is the injection of young people in parliament, in the state, and as I mentioned earlier, not just in the public sector as well. And I think there are major lessons that can be learned from Comrade PG, the former minister. The first is just the level of selflessness, the level of hard work that was put forward, but also the idea that even though something is difficult, if it is the right thing to do, if it is the just thing to do, we fight for it until the very end. And I think if there's one piece of his legacy we need to take forward, it's that. Because at a time in which it was completely unpopular to stand up, even within the ANC, Comrade PG did so, often at great personal risk, and still he continued to fight. And ultimately, that's number one, how we know a lot of what's happened in terms of state capture, but more importantly, some of the interventions that have been made have fundamentally been because of the bravery of Comrade PG and others.
And just how will he be remembered? What legacy does he leave behind?
I think he leaves behind a legacy of the fight for non-racialism, non-sexism in our society, of really ensuring that no matter what your background was, you were able to be a part of something bigger, very involved. And I think the news clip just before I spoke dealt with some of the history of Comrade PG. But I think the biggest legacy is really what I said, being in the face of extreme difficulty, standing up for what's right. And that's what I want to be the take-home message from all of this. I know a lot of people are going to have a lot to say, but I do think that history is going to vindicate Comrade PG and his role, not just during the struggle, but his role in a post-democratic South Africa, fighting for 62 million South Africans who deserve a better life. And that should be his biggest legacy even now.
All right, thank you so very much for that. That is Youth League National Spokesperson Fasiha Hassan, also giving us her reaction to the news of the passing of struggle stalwart Pravin Gordhan. Thank you so much for your time indeed.